Hi, this is Nitin Sawhney on portal lxjovem.pt.
Wow, what a crowd!
What do you have planned for the show tonight?
Well, lots of things. We've got some fantastic visuals, we've got a lot of great musicians, we've got a lot of the singers who are on the last album, on the latest album, Feita. So it's going to be a really packed show. Last night we were performing with Ojos de Brujo in Barcelona and Madrid. I think everyone's very much on a high from that, so I think we're all looking forward to playing Portugal. Every time we come here, there's such a great response and a really warm crowd, so it should be cool.
You've mentioned being here before, namely with Sting.
I've been in Portugal with Sting, but also we've performed here many times, in our own right as well. But yeah, it was good performing with Sting.
Which are your fondest recollections of being here?
I think not necessarily the performances with Sting, although that was good. I think it's playing at this venue actually has been really good, but also Porto is a great place to play it. So but my fondest recollections is the warmth of the audience. I mean, we're always shocked by how warm and effusive the audience is. I mean, we get a really strong response here. So it's great playing here every time.
Well, you do have a lot of fans or enthusiasts here.
It seems to be the case. Yeah. I mean, it's very good actually. I mean, I'm always surprised by that connection with Portugal. I mean, I love Portugal and I love Portuguese as a language as well. It's very rewarding to kind of get that kind of response from anybody. But it's interesting how much of a response we always get, and I always look forward, particularly to playing in Portugal. When I do a live performance, I'm not really necessarily trying to make or remake the album. I'm just trying to find a different way to connect with the audience based on the material from the album. But it would be crazy to try and reproduce the album. I think the main thing is to bring over the energy and the vibe and the ideas that come from the album, and really present the songs in a way that people can interact with them and maybe get up and dance or just listen and enjoy the vibe.
What about Filter? Could you tell us about your new album?
The new album is, that's a big thing. I mean, I spent a long time kind of planning the album and making it into what it is. It's working with a lot of different artists, including Ojos de Brujo, but also people like Victor Duplay, who came down from Philadelphia. There's musicians from India that I worked with, Ashwin, and who's a great flautist, Niladri, who's a brilliant sitar player. I mean, so many musicians, and also singers like Reena Bhardwaj, who is very successful in India. She had a #1 recently over there. And also Devinder Singh, Janta Bush, and quite a few different singers. Tayo, who's an amazing soul and R&B vocalist. Sharon, so many people.
Oh, yes, amazing. And can you sing with us as well? You know the words, yeah? Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4.
well known for being a multi-instrumentalist. Was this a big change for you, all these collaborations?
Yeah, I mean it's well, not really. To be honest with you, I've been collaborating for such a long time. I think collaboration is really what I've been doing since I was very young. But I think I like working on my own, and I love working with other artists. I think it inspires you to have more ideas and more ways of looking at things. So if you're working with other people, you know, it helps you to initiate your own ideas. So yeah, definitely, I love collaboration.
Which instruments do you play?
Oh, I play a few. I play the keyboards and obviously piano and guitar. I study a lot of flamenco guitar. I play a little bit of Indian classical tabla. I used to play a little bit of sitar. I play some drums, and I play a bit of bass, and that's mainly it. But then at the same time I write for orchestras, so I have to know a lot about strings and harps and brass sections and things like that and how they work. So in a way I kind of feel like my main instrument these days is almost like an orchestra or production. You know, it's a different way of thinking.
And what is it, 25 film scores so far?
Now I think it's up to nearly, I should imagine, around 30 now. Yeah, and I'm working on some more already this year. I've already got about 4 or 5 in the pipeline for this year. So so definitely it's great. I mean, I love doing film score work. It's very rewarding.
Why do you think your music comes out the way it does?
I think the music comes out the way it does because I'm the person I am. It's just it's based, the music that I make is based on what I feel and what I think. So you know, how I feel about politicians, how I feel about other people, how I feel about myself, how I feel about music, and what music represents to me. All those things are what make the albums. So you know, the albums are, I guess, just a sum total of all the things, you know, that constitute my experience.
You spoke of politics. Do you think that political weight is really reflected on your music all the time?
Not really. I mean, I don't necessarily try to make political albums. I'm particularly not this album really. Filter is certainly not a political album deliberately. I want to keep away from that. But I suppose with albums like Beyond Skin, a lot of people saw it as a very strong political statement because I was talking about being a British Asian and the feelings that I had about certain things to do with nuclear testing in other countries and nuclear power. But then, you know, with Prophecy, it was an album which was against people colonizing our minds, you know, and the way in which people, you know, people's minds are colonized by politicians, by the media, and how we are, you know, certain people are made invisible by the media, whether it's Aboriginal Australians or Native Americans or, you know, kids on the streets of Brazil or kids in India, whatever, you know. It was looking at that. So I think I'm much more into humanity than I am into politics, really. But politicians try to politicize everything, so you can't make a human statement without some politician trying to claim that they have some ownership on that statement.
Thank you so much and best of luck for tonight.
Thanks a lot. Cheers. Nice one, mate. Thanks.